All Hallows Eve, the evening all your nightmares come to life. All the creatures of the night come out to play. It's time to pay tribute to this terrifying month. So join us as we celebrate a sinister season. This is the Month of Horrors. The reboot.
Based on real tapes handed into the police. Yeah, despite 2 alternate endings and 5 sequels. Real tapes.
You're sweet.
Paranormal Activity follows a young couple called Katie and Mika. They're played by a young couple called Katie and Mika. Quite a stretch.
You've heard this too, Mika?
Mika has purchased a new camera and decides to vlog around the house before famous YouTubers even made it a trend to record themselves doing pointless, boring, normal day-to-day routines and for some reason earning millions of views off of it.
Hey, you be sweet.
Katie has been harassed by some kind of unseen paranormal force since she was around 8 years old, and they begin to document it, slowly showing the phenomena growing worse and worse, even having Katie being possessed at one point and ultimately ending with her killing Mika off screen and throwing his ass at the camera. For some reason.
Absolutely.
However, Paramount Pictures actually ended up buying the rights to the film and the ending was changed. The original ending was only ever shown in one viewing, whereas the newer one showed Katie returning without Mika, but she's covered in blood holding a large knife. She then sits beside the bed and rocks back and forth for hours. The next day, her friend leaves a voicemail message worried about her because she hasn't heard from her for a while. What, she didn't post anything on Instagram for 2 hours? My god.
I'm so creeped out.
That night, Katie is still rocking back and forth. We hear her friend enter the house, find Mika's body, scream and run away. The police later show up. Katie finally awakens from her catatonic state, approaches them still wielding the knife. A nearby door slams, startling the cops who then shoot her dead. The second alternate ending that Paramount produced, available on the DVD extras, the exact same thing happens except when she returns with the knife, she slits her own throat on camera. There's also a third alternate ending which never got to the filming stage, but Katie was supposed to corner Mika and beat him to death with the camera as we watch from the camera's point of view. This was scrapped as it was deemed too complicated and far too brutal to film. But then they were going to show an extended version of the exorcism scene. Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes no sense at all.
I mean, originally Katie Gallagher from Survivor was going to play Katie, but the director felt she was too well known and the film just wouldn't be believable otherwise. So if they took the precautions there, why all of the alternate endings? Why not go all out to make it look as legit as possible?
Could, but no.
Director Oren Peli got the idea for this movie from every other horror movie ever, but other than that, from a real personal experience. He was asleep one night when a box of detergent fell off of the shelf and it was apparently pushed far too back for it to have just fell on its own. Oh, he's one of those who instantly rules everything down to ghosts. He'd get along well with Jimmy. Ghost or no ghost?
Well, I don't see why it would be a person.
Weirdly, he wanted to focus this film on believability rather than action and gore, shooting the movie on a home video camera, usually on a tripod for most of the film, reducing the need for a camera crew. He wanted the audience to be more invested in the story and characters. Well, you failed, Peli.
Sure.
And he confessed that the dialogue was all natural because there was no script.
Then maybe you're right, which is bad, because demons suck.
It shows. Before each scene, the actors were given an outline of the story and situation, allowing them to improvise. Peli auditioned hundreds of people before meeting Katie and Mika, who tried out separately but were then brought back together, showing decent chemistry. He said you would have thought that they had known each other for years, and they were both only paid a mere $500 for the movie.
Look, I know you're pissed.
The film was shot out of sequence, day and night, editing taking place at the same time, and it was screened at the 2007 Screamfest Horror Film Festival. It impressed some agents, but Peli needed to find a distributor, sending DVDs out to as many people as he could, gaining the attention of Miramax Films. Senior executive Jason Blum worked with him to re-edit it and sent it to the Sundance Film Festival, but it got turned down before even gaining the eye of Steven Spielberg. Along with Steven and some DreamWorks executives, the plan was to remake it with a much bigger budget and the original cut being an extra on the DVD. The first version was actually screened, but people started walking out. They believed it was a bomb, but it turned out that they actually walked because they were so terrified. No, it was a bomb.
Let it all out. Don't be shy.
Because of this, it was decided to not remake it and keep the original cut after all. Even Spielberg struggled to watch the film. He had to stop halfway through because he was so scared and continued it the next day when it was light out.
The guy who made Jaws found this pile of crap scary.
Not at all.
Paramount ended up with the rights to the film and any sequels for $350,000 and more changes were made.
It sucks. It really does.
Sorry.
In fact, it surpassed Saw 6 at the box office, and it was believed that this film was the cause of that franchise's end, until 2017 when it came back after this franchise ended.
Just another reason to hate the Paranormal Activity series even more.
I don't want it to happen at all.
Let's get this out of the way right now. It does have a couple of creepy moments, I'll give it that.
Katie gets possessed at one point and watches Mika sleep for hours on end. I mean, that's a bit creepy. There's a part where Mika is investigating the attic and uses the camera to check up there, and to its credit, it's eerie and tense as hell as you're expecting a lazy jump scare, but nothing comes of it. But that's it. I'm all for the less you see, but this is just boring. The Blair Witch Project, you saw nothing and it was scary. The Haunting, you saw nothing and it was terrifying. Paranormal Activity, you see nothing and you're just bored senseless. You get the riveting excitement of watching them have lunch, play the guitar, go to bed, sleep, 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 go downstairs, go upstairs, sleep and more sleep. It would be fine if they built character development like the director claims, but they don't. Other than annoying douchebag boyfriend and hot chick who want a bone in the ass, they have no personalities. Bear in mind, these are supposed to be real tapes. If your selling point is that they're real tapes despite your own credits saying otherwise, realistically, why would the police release all of the pointless and unnecessary garbage? Why show them hearing a noise and checking it out only to discover that it's the stupid ice machine? It's just not scary. Aside from the few creepy parts, this film goes through all of the cliched horror movie ghost tropes in the book, and I am amazed at the critics who say that it avoided them. They hear creepy footsteps in the house, a door slightly moves by itself, there's loud banging noises, a light turns itself on, we hear a breath. It's all been done before. They rip off The Haunting with the huge bangs on the doors, they rip off Book of Shadows Blair Witch 2 with Katie becoming possessed, walking around, and then she looks at the footage and has no memory of it whatsoever.
Why would anyone want to rip off Blair Witch 2? If you're going to steal material, at least pick a good film.
That makes no sense.
The Ouija board moves by itself and sets itself on fire, which somehow doesn't burn the table below it or the rug underneath that. Oh, woogity boogity flying sheet. It's scary, be afraid. They discover the hatch to the attic is open. These are the scares, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, but you're going through all of the horror movie tropes that's been done before, and I just can't comprehend how they can be considered scary in a film that is trying so desperately to be unique, original, and creative. You can take other people's ideas, sure, but you're doing nothing new with them.
How can this be considered scary when everything in it has been done before? Predictable scream in 3, 2, 1. There we go.
The famous scene where Katie gets dragged down the hall is absolutely hilarious. I'm sorry, but it is. Also, how come Mika doesn't notice when she's pulled off the bed, yet earlier he budges if just a breath is heard? And the unintentional humour is only added onto just how bad the acting is. It is horrendous. Everything just sounds so rehearsed.
I'm going by the evidence, and I'm doing my research, and I'm gonna find out what it is.
Well, whatever it is that's following me, it doesn't feel human. It feels like a monster.
Oh my god, I had a terrible nightmare that I was in an awful found footage film.
And I went inside to bring you a blanket because you refused to leave in this catatonic, weird state you were in. I don't...
Wait, did I talk to you?
It's trying to scare us.
Well, it's working. I'm scared.
Well, someone has to be. Also, she doesn't even sound convincing.
I'm scared.
I'm terrified.
Found this up there.
No. Let me see it.
What are you talking about?
This is our old house. What in the hell is this doing in the attic?
No, you'd be more like, what the hell is this doing in my house? Let's move in with my sister.
Here, the acting is so bad, it genuinely looks like it's a parody movie. It does.
In this family,
Who's the cutest baby in the world? Little baby Aiden. Oh, jeez.
something paranormal is happening.
Please, 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 please.
Scary movie.
It's here.
What's here? What? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I feel it.
I'm supposed to act?
I can feel it watching me.
Who wants to give me acting lessons?
Fucking freak me out, babe.
How did Blair Witch get a Razzie but I didn't?
I think the frustrating part is that this film had so much potential. If they focused more on their relationship, it could have been a fantastic story. If the movie showed Katie's mental state slowly deteriorating, with Mika trying his best to be there for her, showing the couple going through this traumatic experience, having to stick together throughout it, showing the sheer strength of their relationship, it would have been such a great film. But none of that is done.
In fact, Mika's a total cock for the entire film.
I mean, at the start, he's this arrogant skeptic, so it's kind of funny.
Yes, I only leave you in the same spot next to your wallet.
Well, obviously, this is incontrovertible evidence that evil forces came from beyond the grave to move your keys.
Make your breakfast.
Maybe I'll play this when he gets here. I think it'll make him feel at home.
You are totally not taking this seriously, are you?
So you think a psychic would be in on time?
But then he just becomes a horrible, horrible person. I mean, he tries to secretly have sex with Katie on camera against her will.
You're the best boyfriend in the whole world.
In our very first jump scare, she screams for help and he takes the time to go and grab his camera first. I mean, it's just a spider, but he'd sooner grab his video equipment than help his girlfriend, and she even acknowledges it.
You're the best boyfriend in the whole world.
She yells and swears at Mika, angry at him for filming everything and apparently making things worse, and he continues filming her.
You're the best boyfriend in the whole world.
He remains recording her, still in the kitchen after that.
You're the best boyfriend in the whole world.
He even continues recording his girlfriend when she's crying her eyes out in fear.
You're the best boyfriend in the whole world.
But in addition to not being scary, not being original and having unlikable characters, the movie makes no sense.
What is that?
Hello, baby.
Hi. Is that what you think it is?
Well, it's a camera. What the hell else did you think it was?
Look, completely unrealistic. She's not hogging the covers all night long. I must say, how on earth can a student and a day trader even afford a house like this? In fact, they claim that's what they do, but they never seem to actually go out and do these things at all. The only other acknowledgement is...
Would you please just get away from me with that camera? I'm trying to study.
I suddenly remembered I'm supposed to have a character, so here I am, studying. I'm a student, yes, what I do.
The entity will sense that you're trying to communicate with it, and that's opening the door, inviting it in. Do you understand me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I hope so. You're gonna be fine. Okay?
The psychic literally tells her, oh, you'll be fine, just moments after telling her the demon will never leave you alone and will continue hunting you down until you're dead. But you'll be fine, you'll be fine.
And Mika, who, as explained, was this arrogant little skeptic, becomes a believer in like 2.5 seconds flat. The door moves a smidge and oh, that's it, goes to 100% real now. And most of the movie is Katie begging Mika to stop recording, blaming him for it all. She even makes him apologize and vow to abide by her rules, claiming that the camera made things worse, despite her saying that the ghost has been harassing her since she was 8 years old. The movie constantly shows Mika yelling at the spirit as if that's going to make any difference, and when they return home after the Ouija board set itself on fire, Katie says,
What did you do, Mika? Look at me.
You stupid cow, he's been with you the entire time, how could it be him?
He then somehow expects to figure out what the spirit said on the Ouija board based on this horrendous camera angle. They set their alarm every single night, and yet when Katie is possessed and walks out of the house, she triggers no alarm whatsoever.
I'm sorry, but I just can't imagine a ghost being like... You know, I should really use my manners. I don't want to wake anybody up. There we go. Much better. Time to summon Satan.
Katie's friend offers them a place to stay, but they refuse because the demon will only follow them. Yeah, that may be true, but safety in numbers, you dumb cow. Better to have 3 of you than 2. It's basic math.
You can have your powder. You can do your little experiment. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't help us, I'm calling the demonologist and we're getting this taken care of.
Why aren't they calling him already? They've got proof of a demon there. Katie's even been possessed. What does it take?
Hell, Mika decides to set out some powder on the floor to catch footprints, but they already know something is there, and Katie even acknowledges it.
Hey, tell me what the point of this was.
Yeah, what is the point of this?
I've been doing my research. I'm taking care of this. Nobody comes to my house, fucks with my girlfriend.
I'm the only one who's allowed to make her miserable and treat her like dirt.
And then they find footprints in the powder and for some reason are surprised by this, and now Katie wants to leave. But they already knew something was there. They knew something was there. They did a test. They got proof that something was there. Nothing has changed. This was entirely pointless. In the attic, Mika finds a photo of Katie as a child, which was in an old house that burned down. Now, the first one can't be blamed for this, but the second film is a prequel that shows her sister Christy discovering this picture. So my question is, why didn't Christy contact Katie to tell her that she found it? And yet they still remain inside the house. In fact, why not just go and live with her sister in her big ass place?
God, I'm so tired. Mika, why are you filming me? I'm just making coffee.
See, even they know.
And they look over the footage and see the prints literally being made. Again. So what? What the hell did you expect? You saw them when you woke up.
Mika, don't. Come on.
Show yourself!
It's a ghost. Even if it does appear, what the hell are you gonna do?
Considering that these are supposed to be real tapes, it's bizarre that there's this weird transition where Mika doesn't even budge.
Our picture.
What picture?
No, look.
She was on the stairs, nowhere near the picture. How the hell did she know that?
And why is Mika's face smashed in when it wants to kill Katie? The psychic returns but literally abandons them with a demon because he's too afraid. What a cock.
Disturbing.
Scared?
Mika also claims that one possible word the Ouija board spelled out was Diane, and he found a woman online by that name who's experienced all of the same things as Katie. My issues are, 1, how the hell did he realise that it spelled out Diane? 2, did he just Google Diane ghosts? 3, why would the board spell out a woman just like Katie? What purpose would it serve?
Okay, Mika, you and your stupid camera are the problem.
Except for the 15 years that it stalked you beforehand.
You stop following me with the camera.
I'm trying to solve the problem here. I didn't bring that thing into the house.
Don't do me.
You did.
Oh.
Classy boyfriend. Ironically, this is actually the only scene in the entire movie that looks like it could be legit, with solid acting and dialogue.
And the movie's last act just seems really rushed. I mean, I'm not complaining by any means, but like the transitions are just weirdly cut between shots so quickly. Katie gets this nasty ass looking bruise on her back and they're still inside the goddamn house. Why? There's no purpose. More rushed transitions to Katie, who I think stabbed herself with a crucifix. It's not really made clear.
Hit it with the shit.
Can we take any of this seriously?
Again, they'll show unnecessary spider catching, but not vital plot points like this. And then randomly, Katie, in a creepy voice, decides that she suddenly wants to stay in the house, and Mika lets her. No, how about I'm gonna drag your ass out whether you like it or not, you crazy weirdo.
You're clever.
As poor as I claim the original is, which it is, it did blow up the genre, but that's not necessarily a good thing. Great films like Blair Witch and Wreck came out before it, so it didn't really start anything here. If anything, it just spawned a crapload of awful films. It's just an unscary, unoriginal, lazy, overrated snore fest.